Alright guys, so I made a post on YouTube about a week ago, and I said that me and Dave were going to be doing a Q&A, and I kind of mentioned how we were going to be doing it a little bit differently than other Q&As we've done in the past.
Handwriting.
What?
It's your handwriting.
Oh yeah, I have terrible handwriting, but these questions that we have right here, we picked like 10, 15 of the best questions, and yeah, we're just going to answer them. Most of them are mainly like personal type questions, because a lot of the other questions out there have already been answered, so.
Yo, Chris, you about to vacuum?
I already did.
I thought you said you have to do something, vacuum something in the living room. Oh, it's just in your room?
No, yeah, I didn't want to make any noise in my
Oh, no, it's literally fine.
We already ruined my whole Q&A.
No, Chris, this mic.
No, I'm kidding.
No, Chris, this mic literally can't hardly hear anything to the side or the back of it, so you're good. You can continue that
Oh, I'm done.
project cutting your
It
wood
was
in
just
your
dirt
room.
in like some random areas, some shoes.
You can continue like the chainsaw stuff in your room, whatever you do, and that's fine.
All right, Dave, you want to start off the first question, brother?
All right, so I think in this small amount of time I had to kill, I think I got the hang of your handwriting.
Terrible handwriting, I'll be honest.
What were your guys' goals when you first started lifting, and what are they now? So, goals, I mean, when I just first started lifting, I didn't really have any, I don't want to say I had any too specific goals. It was pretty much just get bigger, look better, like feel better about myself, and like do like whatever it takes to get there. And now that I'm like more advanced into my training, more time's gone by, my goals are just a lot more specific, more like strength oriented in terms of like hitting certain PRs, hitting like certain like weights, hitting certain things for certain rep range, just very more specific. Like each workout has more of like a specific goal that I have to strive for like a 2.5 pound plate on each side, like a PR, stuff like that. Like that's the answer to the question shortly for me.
I feel as though I always played sports when I grew up, and I was kind of insecure. I kind of got made fun of for being skinny, and when I was a lot younger, I mean, I started lifting when I was a lot younger, so that kind of got to me. And once I started lifting weights with football and like putting on a little bit of size, I mean, that's what initially motivated me to get into the gym, was wanting to be bigger, wanting to get stronger and just be more secure in my own skin. And then as time went by, I just kind of fell in love with actually going to the gym, have something to look forward to, like coming in, like doing different powerlifting things, trying to get bigger here, trying to get bigger there, that type of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So, sums up that question.
So, this was a really good one that we liked. It says, do you ever just want to quit?
I mean, you want to try?
You can start off. You can start it off.
I mean, like, I'm going to speak for me, and I'm pretty sure this is the same for, like, me, Dylan, and Quinn. Like, there's times of obviously just, like, very low motivation. That happens to everyone. That's how things are. You can't just stay fully motivated or maximally motivated at all times. It goes through, like, waves. Like, just like you can't be asleep all the time, you have to be awake. Oh, no, I meant to say vice versa. Yeah,
now
just it can't be summer all the time. It has to be winter.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think any of us have ever got to the point of such low motivation to the point where, like, we don't want to train whatsoever unless, like, let's say like a very like extreme tragedy happens. If that's kind of like a short term like individual case, but yeah, I mean, like, we could kind of phrase that question differently to the point where, like, do we like lose motivation? Yes, that definitely happens. So.
The thing I want to say with this is that you have to have a goal, an end goal in your head. You have to have an overall goal. So me, Dave, and Quinn, there might be times where we lose motivation. There might be a week here or there that training's off or eating's off, and that's going to happen. But you have to have, if you know that in your head you want a certain physique long term, or you want to be a certain strength, and it's something that is going to make you happy or something that you know is good for you to strive for, you should have that in your head. And even though you're going to be less motivated at times, just keep pushing through and grinding. And when the times that you are motivated are going to be even better, because you know that you did what you were supposed to when you weren't motivated.
Yeah, sometimes, like, even if you'll feel motivated, like psychologically motivated, you'll go through times of just like maybe even up to a month or a few weeks at a time where you just go in the gym and every workout feels terrible.
Yeah,
like,
that happens.
The thing is, you need to have terrible work. Like, if every workout's a good workout, I mean, there's no such thing as a good workout.
Yeah.
So when your motivation comes back and training starts feeling good again, you're really, really going to appreciate those good workouts.
And it really just all comes back to having an overall goal, and if it's something that you truly want, just making sure to keep pushing through those bad workouts, the times where you don't feel like eating, or you want to eat when you're on a deficit, that type of thing.
What was the funniest moment we ever had in the gym? Like, before, like, we actually started this Q&A, Dill was pretty much, like, scrolling through his Instagram looking at questions, so we wanted to have some written down as we do here, obviously. Then we ran across that question, we were pretty quick to pretty much pass it on. Then I said, wait, hold on, let me think about it, because I know something happened, and I remember what it was. Back when we used to train at Island, right, there would be, like, many bars at the gym, like the typical 45-pound bars, and there was only 2 skinny bars. right? Where the bar, like the actual bar, is like skinnier than the rest of the bars, and there was a bunch of thick bars.
Everyone
right?
knows it. The skinny bar.
Yeah, exactly. And we just have like a crazy psychological preference all the time
An
to go for
addiction.
the skinny
It was
bars.
an
Yeah,
addiction.
squats, bench, deadlift need to be done on skinny bars,
Yeah.
no matter what. So we get to the gym, we're super psyched up, we're ready to train. Like I think we're doing deadlifts or whatever that day, right? And there's just no skinny bars, and we see they're all occupied as fuck.
Yeah.
Like everyone has them, right? But there's this like kind of like guy like in his maybe 30s or 40s, kind of on the bench, 135. Doesn't look he's doing
he was on
anything
the
too
decline.
serious.
I remember.
No,
that.
he was on the flat.
Was he on the flat?
Yeah, he was on the
okay,
flat.
he was. Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah,
on the
he was on the flat,
He
right?
was,
Then
yeah.
like I was talking about the skinny bar, right? So I was carefully watching him. I made a plan with Dylan. The second he walks away to get a drink at the water fountain, we quickly precision stripped off the plate on each side, swapped the bars, put everything back, and left it exactly how it should have been. And then we kind of like.
And we were kind of like looking at each other low key, like is he gonna notice? And then he kind of like looked over at us, saw his skinny bar. He didn't really care.
No. What happened was
notice.
he thought. Like he came over, he like started looking like making a bunch of eye contact, just like smirking like and chuckling, and then pretty much we talked to him about it, like we laughed it off. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. He didn't really care at all, but he said like like he understands the cheek of like the skinny bars.
He understood, but he was kind of like almost done. He didn't really care. Remember that the other thing that I just thought about right now was remember we were in the gym and that like that massive dude. You asked him like how many sets he had. Remember he was on the shoulder press. You asked him like how many sets he had. And he found that to be a literal threat on his life. Like me and Quinn like thought like we were gonna have to back Dave up. Like this guy was like yelling at Dave. Like
he was this fully grown ass man, like probably 240 body weight, like
massive,
full, like juiced out, like. And like me asking him how many sets he had left was pretty much an assassination on his entire existence, his whole family, everything he's ever stood for.
But what did he say to you?
Just
super
very,
mad.
very verbally abrasive.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny. I remember that. Okay. All right, so the next question is how did you meet? I first met Dave way before I met Quinn. It was sophomore year of high school. I came into school my sophomore year, and this was like I was lifting for about 3 months at this point, right? I just started lifting. I was getting a little bit bigger. I come into school kind of like, oh, people, the triceps looking big, bro. Oh, yeah, whatever. So I started getting into lifting, right? Because everyone knew that I started lifting, and that was my thing. People kept coming up to me like, oh, you know who David Lade is? David Lade. I'm kind of like no, like I've never heard of him because we have a pretty big high school. I never really heard of him, so I never saw him freshman year. And then I remember like I had a mutual friend, right, who was also friends with Dave. And I remember this friend like telling me that Dave knew who I was and I know who Dave was. So we kind of both knew that like we lifted, and that was a very small niche in our school. So we kind of niche. All right, we have arguments on a niche or niche, whatever. But basically, yeah. So I kind of, or one day I saw him in the gym because I switched to the gym that he went to because of our mutual friend. Like we would train together, and then one day we basically got to talking like in the gym. I probably talked a little bit too much in the gym. But
yeah, no. After you guys go, you be talking in the gym, whatever friendship develops, so you get how that works. But I remember like probably for the first like 6 months of our friendship, I don't like the honeymoon phase or whatever. It was there were like very bad times where I go to the gym, right, and he just would not ever stop talking. Just to the point where I can't train, but we're so new in our friendship where I just kind of feel like it's rude to tell you like, listen, like, just let me do my fucking set, please. Like I just like couldn't say that. So like now, for example, if you
I'll get a 45-pound plate in my fucking neck now. All right. So the next question, which is a really good one, and I know we both get asked this all the time, is what were our grades in school, and are we going to college, or do we plan to? Let you start this one off.
You want me to start this one off?
I'll let you kick it.
Well, I'm gonna speak for like the both of us because, to my understanding, we
also pretty much Quinn.
Yeah, and Quinn too. Like three of us, pretty much, we have a very similar, like almost identical, like outlook on this. Like in school, right? Like I know, for example, in elementary school, in middle school, I would try like, very hard to get good grades. And when I got to high school, I just kind of, my grades weren't nearly as good, and the reason was because like I just wasn't like passionate about school, like my style of learning. I was a night owl, for example, so I would pretty much be sleep deprived in school every single day. So I'd show up to class to a subject that I don't care about, I whatsoever don't want to learn about. I don't like how it's being taught. Like for me personally, I'm not absorbing the information like ideally to like fully understand and learn it. In combination with just being tired, just not caring, and just not seeing like a passion in it. And that's why I just didn't have good grades. Like if I devoted myself, if I wanted to do nothing else but get good grades, I could have gotten good grades. We all could have. You guys all could have too. Like it's really not hard. You just have to understand how the school system works. But
I don't know. If you're not passionate about school, then everyone out there already knows. I mean, it's very hard.
Yeah, and especially I feel like nowadays, it's like hands down the least necessary to go to, for example, college, to have like a job or even just be successful in life whatsoever. Like, I feel like nowadays, like, our parents kind of like most of our parents would kind of push this idea on us, like, you have to go to college, you have to graduate high school, go to college.
Well, high
graduate
school,
with
I mean, I would definitely recommend having at least like
high school I meant college. Like, go to college, graduate with your debt, get a white picket fence, a dog, a wife.
Exactly, and
all that
I mean,
stuff.
like, and what I know for sure, like, I mean, I just will speak for Dave and Quinn here in saying that as soon as we figured out like what we were like super passionate about, which was obviously fitness, making YouTube videos and creating content, things like that. As soon as that was the case, right, school like was so far out of the picture because we both realized I wasn't making YouTube videos back like really senior year of high school at all, but Dave would be doing it, and I just remember how much of a pain it was. Like, we have school 5 days a week. You know what I mean? You can't really vlog while you're in school, and it made things so much harder. Now having to go to college, more schoolwork, more all these things. It just, for us personally, we felt as though it's something that we could pursue, be successful in. So we'd rather try to be as successful as possible.
I mean, and I think also a lot of it just kind of like boils down to lazy. Like, if we wanted to, we could have planned our time to get all our gym in, all our gym time in, all our food in, and get good grades. But the thing is, like, we can't just say, oh, we were so busy with the gym. So that's not the case. Like, we could have gotten straight A's and done that, but that just like wasn't the case. So we're not like encouraging people like, oh, like, you don't have to try in school, you don't have to do this. Like, it's not what we're trying to say.
I wasn't trying to make
like whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely not. It's just for us personally, how it panned out was. I mean, would you not agree that like having schoolwork and all these different things like would make it a lot more difficult? And like, it's just the thing is, all of us could still go to college, could still do schoolwork and do all the things we do now if we put our time there, but like we said, we're just not. It's just not something we're passionate about.
I can't see myself just like going to college and taking a course, just doing so much busy work of essays. Like, I would blow my brains out. I would just not be happy.
Well, that's a bit brutal now, but I mean, so basically, you get the picture. We're just not really fans of school, and we found something else we were passionate about. So that's pretty much what we're pursuing. Okay, so this is a really, really good question right here. What were our lifts when we first started working out? And also, I'll add this in. I didn't write it, but like, what was like our weight and our height at that time? So I get that asked all the time. So all right, I'll start it off. Basically, when I first started lifting, I remember I started lifting maybe 8th grade year. When I was extremely weak, I could bench like a 25 on each side, maybe squat like a 25, just nothing big at all. But I wasn't lifting seriously, lifting on like a regular basis. So once I actually started lifting, like at the end of my freshman year, I would say I could bench one plate for a few reps. I could squat like around one plate for a few reps as well. And I never really touched any deadlifts. And I weighed about 140 pounds at like 5'6". Like when I actually first started lifting when I was like 14. So that was for me.
For me, I remember how like I started lifting. It was the summer going into like freshman year of high school, but it wasn't like I didn't just like jump into lifting straight away. I started like 3 or 4 months of him was just like straight calisthenics, maybe in 5 months. I don't exactly remember the exact time frame, but when I actually got a gym membership, right? I remember it was a Wednesday. It was at Retro Fitness, and it was a leg day. I remember squatting facing the opposite side of the squat rack, and I built like a little bit of like somewhat I built like a little bit of strength, more like stability, stuff like that through doing calisthenics. So I remember my first day ever in the gym, I did 95s on each side, which is not 90, 25s on each side on the squat, which would be 95 pounds for like maybe a few sets of like 8 or 10. Then I did like leg press, like a plate or two on each side. Then the next day when it was time to do bench, I remember I could get like a 25 on each side, which is 95 pounds for like maybe like 1 or 2 reps. Yeah. Deadlift, I didn't even start deadlifting until like a year into my training.
Yeah, that's how I was too.
I think I was probably anywhere between 5'6" to 5'7" and weighing like 85 to 95 pounds.
Yeah. You were 85 to 95 pounds?
Yeah, like I was like properly, like I hated food and I still don't like food. So like my first year of training, right, I was probably the most passionate that I've ever been or probably ever will be. Like it was all that I would ever think about 24, like.
Or talk about.
Yeah, it was insane, right? But I was doing things so wrong. I was only training like 3 times a week, hitting a muscle group once a week, doing like maybe 6 sets of muscle group per week. I was so obsessed with eating clean foods. I was so scared of overtraining, and obviously I still made gains because new gains, and I was very lean, so it was like very easy to see. But I could have made so much more gains. And then when I finally realized, oh shit, like I need to like do heavy compounds, do them frequently, eat in a caloric surplus. Like that's when I started pretty much blowing up in strength. So even if you're doing the right thing, if you're 60% consistent doing the right thing, you're gonna make more gains in the long term than just going all out, super passionate, doing complete bullshit. Because there's so many people in the
Remember
gym.
how I started? I just want to say, like, remember when I started out in lifting? I remember we would always joke around because what I would do was I figured, like, I need to lift as many seconds of the day as possible. I had like a bench at my house. I had a gym membership, and I would lift at my school. I would literally bench like 4 times a day.
Tell them about the 4x16.
Okay, so there were actually times when I first started lifting. I do not condone this, right? Where I'd wake up in the morning. I'd do like 4 sets of 10 on my bench at home. Like then I'd do like 3 sets of 10 close grip on my bench at home. Go to the school weight room, do like another like 4 sets of 16, right? And I'm not joking. Go to the gym later that day and do another 3x10 and 4x16. So. Like, it just goes to show a lot of people don't start out training properly, but what it really comes down to, like, the secret is literally starting out heavy compounds, making sure you're progressing, hitting the right accessories, not cheating yourself on form on your accessories, eating in a surplus to grow, and that's really it. All right, so we're just going to answer, like, a few more questions that I wrote down, like a lot of generic questions that I get asked a lot really quickly. So the first one was...
Rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire. Is creatine safe? I'm gonna let you answer that, Dave. Is creatine safe?
I mean, unless you have severe kidney issues and you're taking probably maybe 1 or 2 pounds a day and consuming less than 1 small drop of water, then you might potentially run into issues like in the long term. But if you're...
Long story short, creatine is 100% safe unless you have a terrible liver condition to begin with, or you're taking like 7 tubs of it a day.
Yeah, so just creatine monohydrate, 5 grams a day, drink a gallon of water a day, and you're fine.
Right. How tall were we when we first started lifting, and how tall are we now?
It's funny because I know, like, when I started lifting, I was anywhere between 5'6" or 5'7", and last time
yeah. That's crazy. So wait, when?
Yeah, I literally...
You blew up that year?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's why I couldn't get that much thickness.
Oh my...
You know what I mean?
Wait,
like,
I have a little bit more respect for you. Shit, like, you got a lot bigger, damn.
I'm hanging in there.
Okay, so you were 5'6", 5'7", now
yeah,
you're what?
But the thing is, last time I measured myself, I was 6'2". And at the LA Fitness, I had so many people come up to me, like, a few questions were like, oh, like, what's your height and stuff? I said, oh, I'm 6'2", and I had a few people just, like, stop everything they're doing, drop in, like, literally look me in the eye, like, you're not fucking 6'2", you're literally 6'4".
In my opinion, you're 6'4"-ish, yes.
I'm gonna get measured, but I put it like this. Now I'm anywhere between 6 and 6'7", so
yeah,
whatever you think.
In my opinion, he's around the 6'4" to 6'8" range, but okay. So I'm 5'8" right now. When I first started lifting,
and I was 5'9" right now.
I'm
like
5'9".
5 years later.
No, I was 5'8". I'm 5'8" now. When I started, I was 5'6". So as you can see, I wasn't as genetically blessed as some people sitting right next to me, in the height area. But okay, well, let's see what else.
The thickness area.
Less in the thickness area, but all right. What sizes do we wear in Gymshark? I think
that's a good
this
question.
is the most asked question.
That is actually a good question.
All right, so you want to start?
For me, all shorts, I get them in mediums. All pants, I get in larges. Socks,
Is there socks?
Yeah, they're just like socks. I get them in socks. T-shirts, I'll do mainly larges, maybe occasionally medium. I don't know, but mainly larges. Long sleeve things, obviously large because my like hands. I might need to get like XL honestly for some things for it to fit, like how long my arms are. And hoodies, jackets, anything like large, like for your upper body.
Pretty much upper body for you, you're large.
So the only thing I really get in medium is shorts. Never ever bought Gymshark before. And you're used to like normal like clothes that you buy from like typical stores and stuff. Like Gymshark, like would you say is a little like...
It's a little bit, like it's going to be a little bit more tailored because it's tailored to like fit a physique, someone who lifts weights, you know, like, it's going to be a little tighter up here, that type of thing. But for me personally, I'm like 5'8" and I'm around 180 pounds right now. What I do is anything lower body, medium, and you guys kind of know like my proportions, anything lower body, medium, anything upper body is going to be a large. Besides, I'll do a medium in like a stringer or a tank top because for that it's just like kind of a little bit baggy on me, and it looks a little better tighter. But I mean, it just depends how you like your fit. So you knowing our like heights and our weights, that's kind of what we do, and we like a fit that's a little bit tighter, I would say, right? Like a tighter fit, yeah. So, all right. So if you guys are interested in buying anything Gymshark or anything My Protein supplement wise, or even clothing, then I'd appreciate it a lot if you use my link that's going to be down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we answered some of the questions that you wanted answered, and I'll see you in the next video.